Yeah, don't spoil one.
We're back. That was a long we're back because we've been missing for a
Yeah.
while. Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mexican. Take my sunglasses off. I'm your host, some dude named Victor. To the left of me, 2004, 2005.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Four, it's a great run, my guy. I know you like to drink wine on your barbershop show. Cheers.
Salute.
Salute. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Dave, LeBron James, not in the playoffs. What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised, I guess.
What do you mean?
what? I mean,
Playoff LeBron mode activated.
Yeah,
Someone
but again, like,
13
I mean, again, I'm not surprised because obviously we saw the free fall of the Lakers. Like I said, like we talked about last time we were here at the show. I mean, all the BS that went on with him trying to invoke his power to to get one player and just pretty much throw all his teammates under the bus. That team is just in disarray right now. So again, I'm not surprised. Yes, the whole scope of things. Yeah, I guess you can be kind of surprised because obviously LeBron. I mean, a playoff without LeBron, right? Lately is it's not normal. So. Because we're used to seeing him.
The last time we missed the playoffs, he wasn't allowed to drink this wine. 20 years old.
So, but again, I'm
Me either, actually.
I'm not that surprised, guys.
Shit, I wasn't allowed to drink this wine either. I'm just gonna keep it sweet. I mean, short and sweet like this wine. It's disgusting, actually. But you don't like LeBron, so I just want to hear. I know you didn't even want to talk about it, but I felt like we had to, and I just wanted to get rid of this wine, and it was the perfect time.
Pretty much what I think about is that, I mean, the NBA hasn't seen it in a long time. There's a lot of kids out there that watch the NBA that have never seen an NBA playoffs without LeBron. So if you're like 21 years old, I mean, last time you saw it, was never even a teenager. So you don't know what it's really like to see it. So it'll be interesting to see how the ratings are for the NBA Finals because he's such a big figure in the league. So I understand he also has his haters like me, so they'll be happy to see it.
Me.
But it'll also be a question to see if those same people that watched it to see him lose, if they're still going to watch the NBA playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the ratings are for it.
So you think if he would have been in the East, he would have made the playoffs this year with that Cavaliers team?
Yeah.
Really?
He would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have, because it would have been him. Love wouldn't have missed so many games because they're partially tanking, so that's why they're not really playing Love all the way out. And they probably would have found a way to get one other player to come there with them. So I think they still would have been a playoff team with him.
Okay, fair enough. That's enough of LeBron. I just had to get that in there.
Short and sweet. Like
Short and sweet like the wine.
There you go.
It's March, so day 4. I mean, it's your Fire Stick went on.
There you go. Yeah, sorry guys.
Fire Stick went on sleep mode.
Tennessee was beast.
On nice scenery mode.
Nice senior day 4. Really, I don't want to say there's been a major upset. Maybe just UC Irvine over Kansas State.
I called.
He did call it. Good for him. So I'm gonna put it towards you. The fact that we really haven't seen any major upsets. Do you think that's bad for the tournament?
I think it is. I think they call it March Madness for a reason because you get to see the crazy upsets, the small schools that never really get a chance, at the big schools they get their shot. And we've seen 1 or 2 small upsets, but nothing really crazy. I think the problem is that people kind of knew that going into it. If you ask what everybody predicted, it was Duke, North Carolina. That was pretty much it. So even though that...
They've never met in the tournament.
Yeah, it was just the weirdest thing. But
But
they always put them on the opposite side of the bracket, so unless they're the champion, that'll be their dream matchup. Like that's what NCAA wants to see: Duke and North Carolina in the championship. That is the ultimate ratings getter for them. So I think they'll get it this year because I think they're they're a notch above everybody else. There's some good teams like a Michigan State, like a Michigan. Virginia's on and off in the tournament, Gonzaga. But I think that those 2 teams are a little bit a notch above the rest. Duke obviously has the 3 picks in the top 6 in the draft coming up, and North Carolina's just a really good team. So I think this year they'll finally get it. I think if they don't, then one of those 2 coaches are going to be really upset because those 2 teams really should make it to the finals.
Well, I think I tweeted this yesterday. The way the brackets are looking, for Virginia, I don't think they've had an easier path to the Final Four. They last year obviously lost to a 16 seed. This year they were losing to a 16 seed in the first half, and they finally picked it up. But that bracket's so wide open, and I think Kansas losing.
Yeah, the 4 and the 5 seed lost.
Well, I'm not talking about their in North Carolina's bracket.
Oh no, okay.
North Carolina's bracket, Kentucky doesn't look to be as strong, especially with P.J. Harris out.
Yeah.
Who knows if he'll be back? P.J. Washington, I'm sorry. Who knows if he'll be back?
Yeah.
So North Carolina, outside of maybe Auburn, who would have picked them? I mean, I picked them. I picked them too. North Carolina and Virginia have pretty much a straight shot to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an AED director, especially at Virginia, David, if Virginia doesn't get to the Final Four, do you fire the coach? Like, you can't fire Roy Williams, obviously, because he's got national champion.
He's a top 5 coach.
But Tony Bennett, losing to a 16 seed last year, always getting number 1 seed. Seems like they've been a number 1 seed for the last 3 or 4 years, and they don't do anything with it. If Virginia doesn't get to the Final Four this year, is it time to let go of the coach?
I think so. I mean, listen,
they literally have no one in their bracket. Who's the number 2 seed? Is it Tennessee? Tennessee is the number 2 seed. And I don't think they're that good either.
No.
I mean, I think so. I mean, again, you got to remember, these tournaments, especially when a lot is expected of you and your team, reaching real far into the, into the finals and into the deeper part of the tournament. The big letdown. I mean, it can't happen again. I think for Virginia. So, I definitely think so.
You think that first half was more of like, damn, we're in the same position as we were last year.
They probably were shocked.
And then,
damn, it's happening again.
But it's also like, I think they were nervous because they didn't want. I mean, not only did they not be the first team to lose to a 16 seed ever, but be the first team to lose to a 16 seed 2 years.
That would have been real bad. Real bad.
Listen, it could be nerves, man. I mean, remember, sometimes these teams, they just struggle, man, in the beginning. But once you hit
North Carolina was struggling in the first.
But you see it time and time again with March Madness in the past tournaments. Once these colleges, once these teams hit their stride, man, that's it. They're capable of winning games. I mean, like that.
Duke struggled in the first half. Then they blew them out by 30.
Yeah. So I mean, especially when the talent too. When you got the talent on that bench and you have the talent all around, you just can't worry and panic. Weather the storm and just get back into that game.
So. I don't want to keep this on Virginia, but I'm gonna pose this to you. If you're a recruit and Tony Bennett's recruiting you, I mean, one, you don't score that many points.
Yeah.
So it's not
a defensive guy.
You're the defensive guy, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But as a 17, 18-year-old, 16-year-old, he's recruiting
that wants to go to NBA.
Wants to go to NBA. Why would you go to that school? One, the system hasn't proven anything yet. Even though, you are good in the ACC.
Yeah.
You finish second or third or first sometimes. But in the tournament, there hasn't been anything.
Well, his recruiting thing has to be, listen, I mean, he can't come out and say this, but he has to pretty much pick of the Duke and North Carolina leftovers.
Okay.
Whoever doesn't go to those schools, because the people that go to those schools are going to be offensive guys. They aren't really going to pick too many all defensive guys. So they're going to go for offense because they know they're going to try to go to NBA. So his selling job has to be, listen, this is a chance for you to be on TV a lot. You're in the ACC, so you're going to be on TV all the time. And you're going to be in the tournament as a number 1, number 2 seed. This is your chance to showcase yourself. Even though that you're not going to be able to, in Duke, you're not in North Carolina, but you're still going to be a chance to be a top player on a team that's going to be a high seed in the tournament. So you're going to get seen a lot.
Well, I just think if he doesn't make Final Four this year, I'd probably move on. I'm just saying he's got the easiest way. He's got the easiest path to the Final Four.
This year is very weird because it seems to be very heavy chalk. Like all the top seeds are expected to make it to the Final Four. There's no upset. I mean, the one team that I thought had a chance to be upset wasn't really good, Villanova, and they got beat last night in the second round. So. And that was that crazy bracket with Virginia, which is why Vic was saying it's so weak. So that's why I was just picking an upset in that division, in that region. But is all expected to be chalk. I mean, everybody expects UNC.
This is a lot of chalk tournaments.
And everybody expects either Gonzaga or Michigan, and then Virginia. So it's 1 and 2 seeds. That's what everybody expects. If it isn't one of those, that'll be the shocker.
So I'm gonna just pose this now since we didn't do this before. It's kind of unfair to do it now because we should have picked our Final Four last week, but we were, I was in Dallas. Pete, it was his birthday, so he was like, "Fuck the show." I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna go with my Final Four, and then whoever wants to jump in after. I got Duke. I got Gonzalez.
Gonzaga, you mean?
I got Virginia. Duke. Virginia. I got all the 1 seeds this year. I got all the 1 seeds.
Yeah.
And North Carolina. And I have North Carolina. I'm beating Duke in the final.
Straight chalk.
Straight chalk.
Oh, wait. What'd you say again?
I have North Carolina beating Duke in the final.
Ooh, man.
You may get cut out of the show.
I know you might, dude. I don't know.
I mean, I thought I would get called to the show not picking you to be in the final. So, what about you, Dave?
I got the same, man. So I got the number
picking
1
chalk?
seeds too.
Picking
So,
chalk?
yeah. I mean, listen.
I would have picked Kentucky like in the beginning. That's what I'm saying. It's unfair. If we had this conversation last week, I probably would have picked Kentucky to come out there.
Mhm.
But without PJ Washington, who knows when he's coming back? If he's coming back,
Yeah.
if that kid from Wofford just makes 2 threes, not even 1 3.
2 threes. That's it.
He makes 2 threes. Kentucky
They
loses.
upset Kentucky.
They upset Kentucky, so I'm not sold on them.
Yeah, I think there's high expectations, especially for those number 1 seeds. So I got the same bracket. I'll be honest, I like Purdue, but I don't know if Carson Edwards can keep up with what he did against Villanova. So it's gonna be tough. So
He hates Purdue.
you got to go with the number 1.
I do.
I
I do hate Purdue. So I'm gonna go with everybody's picking Duke, North Carolina. I agree with that because I think they're gonna be in the championship game. I'm gonna pick Michigan to beat Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. So I have Michigan
Gonzalez?
going. Yeah, so I have them going to the Final Four.
Is that now? Is that a biased pick or
No.
is this are we?
That's a true
No.
bias
Okay.
pick.
That's a true biased pick.
Yeah,
Yeah, doesn't somebody like
I'm a
Michigan?
Michigan fan.
So we're here.
I'm a Michigan fan, but they have probably the best defense in college basketball, and I think they're gonna really give Gonzaga problems.
Hachimura, bro.
I'm not even gonna say what I said. And in the South bracket, that's the bracket I said was gonna be the broken bracket, the crazy bracket. I'm still not gonna pick Virginia. I think
Tony Bennett should be fired.
I think something's gonna happen where they're still not gonna win it. It's hard to pick a winner because, like I said, my original pick, if you had told me last week,
Tennessee's not that good either.
I'm not gonna pick Tennessee either. So
So you're gonna pick Purdue?
I hate to do it, but I'm gonna pick Purdue.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna pick the team that I hate. I'm gonna pick Purdue to come out of that bracket because, like I said, I just don't think that's gonna be the broken bracket. Everybody's top seeds are gonna be knocked out. None of them are gonna make it to the Final Four, and I think Purdue makes it to the Final Four.
I actually thought Villanova could have came out that
Yeah,
bracket. Had you told me
last week I picked Villanova.
Had you told me to pick the bracket last week,
Yeah,
I would have picked Villanova to come out that bracket.
I picked Villanova. But yeah, there's a lot of teams in that bracket that just aren't good, and I also don't think Virginia is that great. And I think if that one bad game will knock them out if they play a team that isn't a 16 seed. So if they play the way they played against the 16 seed,
Well, they played
for
today,
any
right?
other,
They played today, right?
yeah, if they play like that for any other game in the tournament, I think they get knocked out. I just think they were playing against a bad team and Gardner Webb, so they weren't able to capitalize on it. But they play any other team like that, they're gonna get knocked out of the tournament. So
It's the beauty of the tournament.
I think
one
they're
game.
done. I think they're done,
It's only one game.
and Purdue's playing well right now. So
It's only one game. That's
I
why
would
this
pick
tournament's
Purdue.
crazy. You can be the best team and still
And,
not win
and
it.
championship, I got Duke over North Carolina.
Who'd you pick in championship? Did you pick?
I didn't. Yeah, I got Duke over North Carolina also.
Yeah, so we all
I'm going with the
got
Dukies.
Duke and North Carolina. He's got
Going
North
with the
Carolina
Dukies.
to do.
Sorry, I'm trying to win money, so I'm gonna go the other way. Everyone's
Going with
gonna
Zion.
I'm going with Nasir Little.
Zion's gonna be a Nick.
See you little.
I hope he's supposed to go to Arizona if we can, didn't have our problems.
Phone calls.
Hey, no indictments yet. My team.
Recorded phone calls.
No indictment. Only Rick Pitino is out there on tape. So we didn't talk about this because I don't think we've gotten together in about 3 weeks because
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Pete's
Yeah,
busy. He's
How's it my fault?
You're busy running races in Dallas.
How is it? Oh yeah, I wasn't in Dallas.
You were at Blackjacks. You know, you see his Instagram. You see, you know,
Oh,
the debauchery.
it was a St. Patrick's Day party.
The day before.
Yeah.
The day before, or
Yeah, I
St.
think they had it all
Sunday?
weekend, didn't they?
St.
Yeah,
Patrick's
they
Day
had it all
was
weekend.
Sunday,
I think they had it all
buddy.
weekend.
They had it all weekend.
St.
Right.
Patrick's Day
Thank
was
you,
Sunday.
Dave.
Let's see
Thank
that.
you, Dave. It was
Dave
the whole
wasn't
weekend.
there. He
It was
wasn't
the
there.
whole
How does he
weekend.
know?
He can see.
I was,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't there.
I saw on,
You could tell.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
And social media.
Either way. Oh no. Don't. Okay, no, you're right. You're right. The week before that was no one's fault.
Yeah.
People had issues,
Yeah.
personal issues. So you know.
Nobody showed.
Well, you know what? Dre's not even here.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen Dre in
Just
2
blame
months.
him.
Shout out to Dre,
Shout out to
man.
Dre, bro.
Nah, you don't get a shot.
Thanks for showing up, bro.
Yeah.
It's been
Be here in a couple minutes, right?
it's been I think I haven't seen Dre since January. It's not March. It's gonna be April.
Yeah.
So Odell Beckham Jr., my favorite Giant at the time, got traded. So we didn't talk about this. And then we have to, especially me and you. David, it hurt me when it happened. It hurt me when Pete told me before it happened. And then I put it on Twitter and people were like, yo, you're stupid. And I was like, I guess I am stupid. And then I posted a tweet, you know, if Odell gets traded, I'm jumping off a cliff. And
Did you jump off the cliff or no?
I did in Dallas.
Okay.
But it was like a 4-foot cliff though. So I did jump off one. People called me stupid. People said no way, and then it happened, and then no one apologized for it. So for all you 5 tweeters that said I was stupid, that's to you.
People hear shit.
You know, the Pete's a fucking guru here. Broke my heart when it happened.
Yeah.
I understand why it happened.
Mhm.
To me, the Giants saw how Antonio Brown's situation played out, right? You know, he painted his mustache blonde. He called himself Mr. Chess. What did he call him?
Mr. Big Chest.
Mr. Big Chest. And the Steelers only got a 3rd and a 5th for him. And Gettleman, who I'm gonna give him this year. See what he does. He's been making some questionable decisions.
Oh, is Dre watching the show from his car?
I think he is.
Is he in the car?
I don't know. He just texts us from his car. Saying special shout out. Yo, why aren't you here?
Dre's at Banana King having a shake.
Hey, Dre, get us a couple of the shakes, too.
Yo, give me a banana, bro.
Yeah.
Gettleman, right? Probably saw that and got scared because Odell is a bigger, I'm not going to say malcontent, but will make a bigger stick of a situation than probably Antonio Brown did. Because I didn't expect Antonio Brown to do that, to do what he did, to basically force the Steelers' hands. Looking back at this trade, maybe in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to say it's a good trade, but for right now, we have no identity, David. What are we doing?
Listen,
We still have Eli Manning. Manning Eli.
Listen. I really think this decision was influenced obviously by Mara. You know, he didn't want to be that fool like Rooney. You know, taking that picture with Antonio Brown. I think they feared that it probably come to that one day. So I think that was a big reason. Obviously because of when he got paid and you know how he acted and how he was. So I mean. Again, I don't agree with the move either because you just gave up, you know, probably
your best player.
You know, I wouldn't say
He's our best player.
Yeah, I guess so. Your best player.
Saquon Barkley might have been the best player
player
this year, but Odell Beckham from the past is the best player on the team.
But I definitely see a future, obviously, with you know Saquon being
You only have
face
9
of the
years though.
franchise.
You only have 9 years though, max.
And yeah, but again, it is questionable. Listen. You got to give Gettleman, you know, another year. Listen, another year, 2 years. If he falls flat, though, I mean, yeah, I agree. He's got to go. It is a questionable trade right now. So, you know, but let's just see. Let's see what he does with the draft. Obviously, the draft is going to be big.
The thing I'll give him is he's a better drafter than what's my man's name?
Reese.
Jerry Reese. Jerry Reese had one good draft, and that was it. There's literally no one. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Knicks getting rid of everyone that Phil drafted. So Gettleman's like, I'm gonna just get rid of everyone that Reese drafted. Landon Collins.
That's what it's looking like. That's what
Except
it's looking like.
Eli.
No, Ernie Accorsi drafted him.
Uh,
So Ernie Accorsi, the man, built 2 Super Bowl championship teams. I wish he'd come out of retirement and actually be a GM again. But why would you sign Odell Beckham to that lucrative deal and then trade him?
we didn't sign up to trade him. that was the quote that was played that he said, and he said the part that makes it look bad is that the press conference that he had this past week where he tried to explain the trade, it really just made no sense. He said, yes, I said we didn't sign to trade him, but things changed. It was a deal that I couldn't refuse. A first and a third and another player doesn't seem like a deal you can't refuse for one of the top 5 receivers in football.
It's not a deal you can't refuse, but it's probably the best deal he would have got this year for him.
Well,
And it probably would have been worse.
Well, the thing is, we don't know that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think
Yeah.
that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he didn't make it like public to everybody else that he
Yeah,
was available.
but
I
that's
definitely
the thing,
think he's giving us baloney.
But if you make it public, that means you're desperate, and that means teams are going to shortchange you. I guarantee you,
Not if you could put them against each other, because you can say, listen,
I don't think
you say, listen, I got a first and a third
he's
here.
from
You got to do
Boston.
better.
He's not that smart.
Because you could easily say,
He's
listen,
from Boston.
I'm being
He's
offered
from
a first and a third. If
He's
you
from
can't
Boston.
beat that, then there's no way that I'm going to be able to trade you to it. You can compete them against each other.
He hasn't lost that departed accent yet.
Now that sounds like a little bit of bias,
I
right there.
gotta go get the car.
That sounds a little some what did he say?
This wine is wicked bad.
Chowder.
This wine is wicked bad.
Some chowder.
clam chowder.
This wine is wicked bad. It's wicked sweet.
But listen,
But,
I think when they gave him the contract though, because they saw that Odell was doing the right thing.
But he was until he signed,
and then he signed, and then
did an interview with Lil Wayne,
and that was the biggest problem. I mean,
that's stupid.
that, and then going to social media, going against Mara, things, things of that
blaming Odell
nature.
for
So
anything,
I'm
I
not
mean,
either. I'm not
so,
either. But here's the thing: they gave him a contract because he came to OTAs, he came to voluntary workouts. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Then, 2 fucking games into the season, he sits down with Lil Wayne. That's not the Giant way, dude.
No, definitely not.
But the thing was, there's no one.
But, I mean,
There's no one in that locker room to tell him otherwise, though.
I agree with that.
Like if there was a Michael Strahan, if there was Antonio Pierce, if there was who else was on that
But
team?
it all goes back
Justin
to the
Tuck.
it all goes back to the boat trip. The boat trip wouldn't have happened if all those guys.
That's what I'm
were there.
saying. Jeremy Shockey was there, right? And then he got hurt, and everything else got better.
Yeah.
After Jeremy Shockey got hurt,
Mhm.
so why couldn't someone in that locker room just be like, "Yo, bro, calm down. I'll shave your fucking blonde ass hair, bro. Like, don't fuck with me, bro."
They didn't fill the locker room with veterans.
Well, Landon Collins. Landon Collins.
24 years. He was 24
But he's
years
the
old.
man.
But
Like there should be a lead. There's no leader in that locker room.
But that's what I'm saying. You all the people you named, Tuck,
Olivia Vernon, not a leader.
Strahan,
leader.
Pierce, all those guys you named were around 30 years old or older. They were veterans. They've been in the league 4 or 5 years.
Ogletree was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, but he just got to the team. They
Well,
just
be
traded
a
for him a
man,
year
bro.
ago.
Be a man, bro.
So they can't know when he just got to the team. He doesn't even know the full playbook yet. So how can he control the team? They never had any veterans in there on the
Tony
team.
Pierce didn't. Tony Pierce is a Redskin.
Yeah, but he was on the team for a couple of years.
No, when we won the Super Bowl, that was his first year.
Well, second year.
Okay, second year.
But that was an Ogletree first year. At least they had a chance.
Oh, what? But Lenny Collins been there forever.
Yeah, but he's 20. He was 24 years old.
But he's a leader of
You're
the
not
defense,
if,
dude.
if you're Odell, you're 26, 27 years old. You're gonna live with this kid, 24 year old.
Lenny Collins beats the shit out of you, yeah. Lenny Collins would probably whoop Odell's ass.
He probably would, but I
Alright,
don't think he would do it though.
Shit, if I was Lenny Collins, I would.
Matter of fact, he's 24 years old. He probably wants to party with Odell.
Well then, no, I don't think.
That's-
I don't see Lenny Collins as that. I don't see. It hurts me more to see Lenny Collins go than Odell. I thought Lenny Collins was stupid.
I agree.
Because if you say, all right, I'm not gonna franchise this guy, I'm not gonna keep him on the team, re-sign him to a long-term deal, then you should have traded him at the deadline. And then he added on to that said, well, we didn't get a first-round pick offer. Well, now you got nothing for him. Like, what's the point? Get what you can for him then, if you're not gonna re-sign him.
Listen again. I don't think Gettleman's telling us everything. I think obviously he's getting caught. Being a hypocrite. And
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he's
I'm
telling
pretty
us
sure
everything,
there's.
so.
Pretty sure like Porzingis. There's like someone in Odell's camp that's like, bro, we're not trying to have another losing season. If you're not gonna fucking,
Porzingis was his family.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it was somebody from Odell's camp that told the Giants, if you're not gonna have a losing season, you're gonna have another losing season. You're gonna stick with Eli. I'm not gonna be happy here. And the Giants probably heard that and said, and they panicked. But again, I don't think you're gonna get more than what they got. It's not I refused an offer I can't refuse because I would have refused it.
Yeah.
But I think I think that's the best they were gonna get. And
But like you said, man,
unfortunately,
once listen, Jeremy Shockey was probably one of the best tight ends in the league, man, at that time. you know, you put him out of the equation. Look what happens.
Kevin
so,
Ball steps in.
So hopefully,
Quiet guy,
hopefully
makes
that
catches.
happens with the Giants, man.
Yeah, but
So-
the one thing is though, you hate to be the worst thing in the league to be is a middle tier team. You want to be a team that either can win a championship or get a high draft
We
pick.
have no defense, so
And
we're gonna be a terrible team.
Yeah,
this
but then
year.
why sign a 30-year-old to a 4-year deal to be a wide receiver?
Because you're gonna cut him after.
that was questioned.
Just
That
go
was
with
questioned.
young guys then. Let them learn on the
was
job.
questionable
Like
too, so.
no point in signing a 30-year-old to get an extra win or
We
two
can
during
win
the
while
season.
rebuilding, Dave Gettleman.
Yeah, that's the worst statement ever. That's definitely not
I
happening.
don't know. Maybe he was playing Plan B because of
There's
Shep.
no
and,
such thing as
you know,
building
well,
already.
it's just-
Shep, you know, this is last year of his rookie contract. I don't know. So I
That's
don't know. What
also
his
true.
thinking is.
And then
I
2 more
don't know.
years, Barkley's gonna get a deal. So
I don't know what direction they're going in. I just know if I'm Gettleman in this draft, we're gonna suck. You take the best player available at every. It doesn't matter because there's so many holes. There's so many. I don't think they're gonna get a quarterback. And if they don't get if they don't take a quarterback with a 6, or move up, I don't want them to take a quarterback at all.
Daniel Jones,
I don't want that bum. He's from Duke.
17th pick. Daniel Jones,
Sorry.
University.
Only
Josh Rosen, baby. I'm hoping for Rosen. I'm hoping for
only
Rosen.
Duke player I want on my squad.
Get him and
is
get
Zion
Rosen.
Williamson, and that's it.
They're gonna call Eli Manning to make the pick. Daniel Jones.
No.
He's already mentored him too. He's actually mentored him. He's been at Eli's camp. He's good. I think he's gonna be a
But
trouble.
listen. In all though, listen, Odell. You know, I love Odell, man.
I do too.
As a player, he's an unbelievable player. But you know, it's time to move on.
And we didn't want to play off game with him.
And I rather listen. I'll be honest. I rather have Saquon as the face of the franchise moving forward, man. So, you know, he could take that diva shit and take it to Cleveland. man. That's
The only
it.
thing I'll say about that is that the Giants have never won with the, I guess, top tier wide receiver. I don't think Plexico Burr is considered a top tier wide receiver. Really good receiver, you know, maybe top 20 in the league, but we've never done anything with a top 5 at the skill positions outside of running back. So tight end, wide receiver, anytime we had a top guy, they were divas, like a Jeremy Shockey. You know what I'm saying? Mark Bavaro comes to mind, but I don't know if he would be considered a top 5 tight end back then. I wasn't around. Was he, how? Okay. Different times. But yeah, Shockey comes to mind with Odell.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I love Shockey. I love his enthusiasm. You know, I love his craziness, taking his helmet off after getting
His
hit.
energy, man.
You know, I loved it, but also a guy like that brings that energy, like Odell, does really stupid things. You know what I'm saying?
See, but Saquon's not a diva though. Saquon is not. You know, you see the guy, the young man. Listen, he presents himself and he carries himself. You know, the way that the New York Giants want to be known
I
for.
think
So I don't think we're gonna have a problem.
I don't think I have a problem with Saquon, but I think the Giants need to draft Dwayne Haskins this year. If they don't, if they don't, I'm telling you, if they don't, and they go 5-11 again next year or 6-10, you're not gonna get Tua. You're not gonna
6-10,
get
do it
Fromm.
again.
You're not gonna get Fromm. You're not gonna get Tua. What? Then what? You're gonna go 0-16 to get the guy to Clemson?
Sunshine.
So I didn't get Dwayne Haskins. He's good. He's really
I
good.
like Haskins.
He's
I
really
like
good.
Haskins.
Well, they're saying he's not mobile enough.
Yeah, but you know they could be saying that. They could be
What?
saying that just
What?
to show no interest, man.
True,
You don't know
but
that.
I
You
just
don't know that. So you don't know that.
You like mobile?
I listen. If you had to ask me right now, I think they are drafting Haskins. They're letting the league.
I don't know if he'll
You
be
know,
there at 6 though.
and so I think he will. I think he will.
I
Who's
think
going to
he
take
will.
him? Who's going to take him before? So
I don't know.
unless somebody trades
I
up.
know, I know Drew Lock's not gonna be there at 17.
No, he's
That
not.
much I know. I know Drew Lock's not gonna be there at
I think he's
17.
on 10, so he's
So
on top 10.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Gettleman's gotta make a decision, and you know, when Gettleman was hired, I was like, all right, cool. You know, the Giants made a safe pick. You know, that's the Giant way, old school guy. I really wish they would have hired Louis Riddick, but that's besides the point. Let's move on from the Giants because you know I'm gonna tell Hector.
G-Man.
Tell Hector sell my seats. 'Cause, terrible. So moving to baseball, we had it's kind of a funny ordeal last year when these players who weren't getting signed into spring training were saying that the system is broken and we're not getting deals that we used to. But Mike Trout, $430 million.
Yep. 430, baby.
Drop for home.
Congrats.
Shout out to Trout in Jersey, baby. Representing Jersey.
Inland, New Jersey.
That's right, baby.
Yep. My boy Bryce Harper was like, "Yeah, he's gonna come to the Phillies." Nah, bro.
You're not a good recruiter.
Terrible.
Nobody wants to play there.
Justin Verlander signed a 2-year deal worth what, 66 million.
Yeah.
Before him, obviously we had the big Machado deal. We had the big Bryce Harper deal that we talked about. We also had the dude from Colorado getting a deal.
Nolan Arenado.
You know, so the system broken.
I don't think.
I mean,
it is.
between
I think expectations are messed up.
between Harper and Machado and Trout, it's about $1 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion being guaranteed for the next decade between 3 players.
Yeah, I don't think it's broken at all. I think the problem is players just had too much expectations. They think that this is the type of system that, listen, I did my job. I'm gonna get a raise. I'm gonna get big money, and some of them are not worth big money, especially some of the older players. These players, when you finish your 6 years with the team, you're probably 26, 27 years old. And you can get your big deal. But some of these guys are 30, 31, 32 years old, and a lot of them are, and they're expecting to get the same big deals. Nobody's going to pay you till you're 36, 37 unless you're a superstar.
Not anymore.
And there's no reason to, because they can bring up another young kid that can throw just as hard, if not harder, or can hit the ball just as far, and they're going to be much cheaper. So why would they pay you $10 million a year to be a 33-year-old on the bench when they can get a young kid that's 23 years old to be on the bench and pay him much less?
I think there definitely was a market correction, obviously, because, you know, back then, like you said, I mean, these older players, they were getting these big, long contracts.
You had 40-year-olds still in the league.
Now it's kind of flipping. The younger players are getting these bigger contracts.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them are signing extensions early.
Yeah, and they're signing extensions.
The kid from Chicago got an extension before he played in the league. I couldn't even believe that. Yeah. He got a 6-year extension before he even played in the league. I couldn't believe that. And the Braves are probably going to do that with Cooney now. They're probably going to sign him to a long-term deal.
So what does this deal mean, especially the Verlander deal? What does this mean for your guy Jacob deGrom, who's asking for an extension, and he said if he doesn't get it by opening day, he's not going to negotiate during the season?
Yeah, I think the Mets are going to have to give him, a big contract. It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be at least.
Well, not only did
25 to 30 mil at least per. Has to be. Nothing lower than 25, obviously. Yeah. So. They're saying that he probably wants like 5, 6, 7 years.
5 years, 150.
So I think the Mets are trying to give him maybe 4. So, but I mean, listen, if he gets 5 years, north of 125, I mean, I think that'll be a good deal. So I'm hopeful.
How old is he now?
I'm hopeful. He's
30.
I think he's 31.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like 5 years.
So
5 years.
You think if you would have offered him 5 years, $100 million last year, he would have just taken that? I think he would have.
I think it depends on. I think
or 125 maybe.
125, yeah.
I think it depends on what part of the season you're saying. If they were going to offer them in the beginning, the middle, possibly.
He got hotter.
But dude, after the season he had, look, he had a historic season, so he's basing the contract that he deserves off of the season he just had. So obviously the Mets don't want to do that. So because of course they want to pay less for him. So
of course.
But I mean, listen.
He backs up with another one. Then
that's it. Yeah, exactly. So that's why the time is now. The time is now. Listen, if you're gonna pay him, you got to pay him now because again, if he has another season like he just did, which I don't think so. I think he's gonna have a good season. Don't get me wrong, but not another historic season like he had last year. But the time is now.
I just think
to give him a contract. So
I just think it sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck to be him. Life could be worse, but he just had his best season, and
I think
that's insane. Are you ever gonna have a season like that again?
I mean, listen, he's been a good pitcher for a very long time, a top 5 type pitcher for a couple years now. He's not going to have a season like that, but I think he can have another season that's going to pretty much force their hand to pay him $30 million a year, or he's going to leave.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's impossible to see him doing that again. I mean, his pitching, his stuff is so good that I don't see him dying down in the next year or two. I see him lasting for a while.
Listen, but either way, he's going to be a rich man. So whether the Mets sign him or he goes into free agency, forget it. I mean, hell no.
Or just trade him to Atlanta.
Hell no, he ain't going to the Braves.
2 prospects.
That's never going to happen. That's Never ever going to
Two
happen.
prospects. It's fine.
Not even the Wilpons are dumbest to do that. So.
I don't know.
Well,
about that, buddy. Not only did Verlander get the Chris Sale got an extension also. So
Sale.
Sale got an extension
Yeah.
yesterday. Was it yesterday or this morning?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. He got what? Was it 30 million?
Yeah,
for like
30
5
million.
years?
Yeah. He got paid too. Tell you, everybody's afraid of what Harper and Machado did. They pretty much made everybody hate free agency.
Yeah.
So now everybody's
Trying to
signing their
satisfy
extensions
everybody
now.
right
Yeah,
now here
let's
for
get
the
it
next couple
now.
years, yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, hey, that's sometimes that's a good way of conducting business too.
System is
because-
System is broken.
No,
but
hell
there's
no.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Definitely
in
correction.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's not broken.
Market always gets corrected. That's
Yep.
just how it is. Before we get into the boxing, Pete wants to talk about KD not ever going to the Knicks or something like that.
Yeah. So there was a video that came out yesterday
That was
where
2 years ago, though.
yeah, but
It was
listen,
2 years ago. It was 2 years.
but it's more proof to say that it's a liar if he does come to New York. Because
You know what,
he can't go around just saying that. Look, I don't know anything about New
Women
York.
lie,
I
men
don't know
lie,
anything
numbers
about.
don't.
I don't
That's the only
know.
thing
What
that's
numbers for this? What are the numbers?
that he's gonna be a ridiculous amount of money in New York.
He's gonna do that anywhere.
He's not, when you come to New York,
If he went to LA, he'll make money too.
If
yeah,
if
you go to
make-
LA, you go tank like
If you
LeBron.
make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Basically.
Oh,
Come on.
So,
You go to LA. You do shows with Tim Tebow. You do the barbershop show. Where you
That's
drink
right.
wine.
listen,
And you lose, and you become an 11th seed in your damn conference.
listen, the real reason I want to bring this up wasn't really because of KD. It was about if KD doesn't go to the Knicks, what do the Knicks do then?
Sell the franchise.
I thought they were gonna do that.
Like seriously, if they don't get KD and Kyrie, is there a backup plan or is it just that's it? It's 1A and that's it.
Zion's coming. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's
Zion is
it's
coming.
not one player though.
Zion's
Zion,
coming,
one
baby.
player.
Zion Williamson.
So
Zion the
wait a minute.
Messiah.
So if you guys don't win the lottery and end up with like the number 2 or number 3 pick,
John Morant's coming.
John Morant. I'm telling you, get ready to trade the number 3 pick
RJ,
and not to somebody.
RJ Barrett's
Barry,
coming.
man, or Barry. Barry, baby.
They're all in. There's gonna be Zion or bust.
RJ Barrett's coming.
KD, Kyrie, and Zion are bust. That's it.
If they don't get KD and Kyrie, just don't talk.
You're talking to a Bulls fan, bro.
Listen.
He's trying to fight a spot in the lottery.
Listen.
He is trying to find a spot in the top 5.
I am.
He's trying to find
Top
top 4.
Top 4.
He's over here winning games that he doesn't have to be
Yeah,
winning.
they're stupid. They're stupid.
Listen,
Get that bottle ready, Pete. Get that bottle ready.
Fire Paxson and Gar Foreman. Get rid of them.
Listen,
now.
who doesn't want to hang out with Jay-Z and Aaron Judge, man? Come on.
I mean, that's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point. I want to hang out with Hov if I'm Zion. Zion said yesterday.
Hangs out with him anyway.
It
He
hasn't
went,
yet.
he, went to his game. You know they hung out.
No, that's tampering, bro.
Hey.
That's tampering.
So did Magic Johnson. You gonna get the Lakers
That's
again?
tampering.
Yeah, you've been
That's
bashing the Lakers all
That's
year.
tampering. That's tampering. That's Jay-Z trying to sign in the Rock Nation.
You
That's
trying to get
tampering.
Magic Johnson
That's
another
tampering.
fine.
Jay-Z out here signing soccer players now. You better watch out, guys. Rock Nation coming for you.
They went.
They-
Everybody
they
went to
went
his game.
they
That
went
North
everywhere.
Carolina game.
Yo, tampering, bro. They were
That-
there to watch Cam
That's
Reddish.
why he probably got hurt. He went out to dinner early. That's why. He went out with Magic.
You
and
hear this? Huh?
KD.
You hear? He's talking about your school.
Yeah, I know.
He went out early. Hey, I picked him to win. I didn't pick North
That's why
Carolina.
they're losing to Gonzalez.
I didn't pick North
But
Carolina.
he's talking about your school doing illegal things with Jay-Z and
Yeah.
Magic. And
Coach K's got a
White girls and cable.
Coach
That's what
K's
we
got a
offering.
good checkbook.
Does he?
He does.
Not as good as Nick Saban. Shit, Dabo Sweeney might be up there too now.
Yeah.
Dabo Sweeney getting
Leave
sunshine.
Dabo alone. He's fine.
I don't know, bro. He's getting guys to go to school there. It's that defensive line. You can pick whoever you want.
Yeah, they're all homegrown. Yeah.
Yeah, homegrown. Homegrown times $100,000. Which I don't mind. I don't care. I don't care that these kids get paid. I really don't. So don't mind whatever. I think these college kids should get paid. So if they're getting money under the table, if that's a crime in this fucking country, then something's wrong. Which it is a crime because these coaches are getting subpoenaed to go to federal court,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. Like I
Sean
still,
Miller.
hey, he's not indicted, not got fired. He's just going to testify. That's it. So he's gonna tell his side of the story. I didn't get no strippers like Rick Pitino. You know what I'm saying? I just offer them tuition,
Tito
free
said,
cable,
Tito said he had no knowledge of
Free cable and what?
free Wi-Fi.
White girls.
Well, the
Free
NCAA
Wi-Fi.
The NCAA is offering free Wi-Fi to student athletes for the tournament. By the way, just thought y'all should know.
They said no, we aren't. That's a fake tweet.
Oh, it is a fake tweet. But no, I if the Knicks don't get KD and Kyrie, I don't know where they go. Because what? I mean, I don't think Jimmy Butler is good enough
No.
to carry a team on his
Clay,
own.
no.
I don't think Clay.
Kemba.
I like him.
You like Kemba, but you still need a second guy with him.
another guy. So, but
If
James
you-
Dolan,
if you trade him for-
James Dolan knows something. He's so confident in
for
something.
trading
Yeah,
Porzingis,
banning
you have
fans.
to.
Ban as many fans as you want.
If you-
Kevin Durant, I don't care.
If you're gonna trade Porzingis, you gotta get one of those top guys.
Well, if he
Or else
doesn't
it'll
get Kevin
fail.
Durant, then
Then they failed. They
we
failed
should
on that
ban
trade.
James Dolan.
They failed on that. They failed on that trade if they don't get him.
Should ban James Dolan.
So
No,
James Dolan should ban
if he
James
watches the
Dolan.
podcast,
Yeah.
he's gonna ban you from going there.
Yeah, be careful.
It's all right.
guys. Be careful.
I
guys.
can't afford a ticket anyway.
At least Hal's not on the camera, so
It's all right. I can't afford a ticket.
Dolan
Anyway.
can't see it.
It's like $300 to sit in the 400 section. It's insane. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, so we'll end this show with boxing. I went to Dallas last week to see Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence. I didn't like the fight to begin with, but I went because it's an event.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I always thought Errol Spence was better, not only because he was bigger, but I thought just think he's a better boxer, and it showed. It showed.
I thought you said Mikey was a better boxer.
That's
When we
what,
did the show from your house.
no.
I'm the one that said Spence.
Did I pick Mikey though?
No.
Go to the tape,
But we said-
Bob.
Yeah, we gotta go to the tape.
Go to the tape.
He said he's a better boxer.
Technically, he is,
Alright.
but in terms of all around intangibles, Mikey lacks something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Mikey lacks, but it shows in some fights, like against Lipinets. It showed against Salido. Like there's something he has all the tools, but it's something not there. Maybe he just doesn't like the sport, which he's kind of said before.
He's a fireman.
He wanted to be a policeman. He wanted to be a policeman.
Policeman.
Yeah, he wanted to be a cop, which whatever. You can't make millions of dollars being a police officer. But what were your thoughts on the fight, Dave? Seeing your guy get outclassed for 12 rounds.
Again, like you said before, I didn't like the fight in the first place. I thought, jumping 2 divisions against one of the better, welterweights in the division was not a smart move. Maybe fighting a tomato can or maybe.
We should have fought Danny Garcia.
So, but
Yeah.
You should have fought Danny Garcia.
That was
I think-
original
possibly,
plan.
yeah. I mean, that would have been good. But
If Danny didn't go on his little losing streak, that was what we had planned.
Possibly, but I didn't like the fight to begin with. I thought Mikey, struggled even just to make weight. I mean, I think weighing he only got to 145.
Should
Yeah,
And he
have
did
got
not look good. So
the Mariza shit.
listen, I think
Should have hired my boy Alex Ariza then.
But listen, Errol Spence. I mean, listen, you got to give it up to him. I mean, he took the fight, and listen, Mikey Garcia is one of the bigger names, in the sport right now. So he did what he needed to do. They had a good game plan against him. I mean, that jab was just stopping Mikey, at full force. I mean, you saw it too. Every time he landed a jab, it's like Mikey's whole body shook. So you could just tell the difference between size and power. Has all the intangibles. I think sometimes though he's just got to be. He seems too conservative to me sometimes in fights, and I think it shows. I think he's got to get. I think he's got to take more risks. Obviously they're talking about possibly Lomachenko now against Mikey.
No.
But
I
hope it does.
Bob
But
Arum called Mikey Garcia a mutt.
so,
I mean,
so again, I'm gonna be an optimist here. I hope that a fight like that happens.
Never.
But
Bob Arum called
we'll
Mikey Garcia a
see.
mutt. If
That's-
someone's called me a mutt,
I said
I'm
that
gonna
years
fight
ago.
you.
That fight was never
I'm gonna
happening.
fight you if you call me a mutt.
But again, I'm gonna be an optimist here. So, but listen,
I don't think it's happening.
I didn't like the fight. So I didn't like the fight. But listen, kudos to Spence, man. He fought a great
I'm
fight.
not gonna give him that much
Just
credit.
to show
I'm
him
not gonna give him that much credit. I just think if he's bigger, he's also if not better technically, he's just as good as Mikey technically.
I don't think he's better technically. I
mean,
think
he
they're
might be
kind of on
just
the
good.
same
He might be
plane.
just as good.
So,
He might be
but-
just as good.
Yeah, I think Mikey's just as
Might be
good.
just
It's
as
just you can't do anything about size, man. You really can't.
Mike
You
even
know.
said that after. He said there was times where he tried to switch it up and get inside, and
Yeah.
they couldn't get inside because
No.
he just He'll hit him with a shot and kept him on the outside. It's like he controlled the fight.
Did they even release the weights during fight night?
They did for the morning. They didn't do it at fight night, but for the morning they did.
because they had
Mikey was 152
I
and
think
Spence I
Spence
think
was
was 157.
56. You have to weigh in. The IBF
In the morning,
requires you to
within
weigh
10
in
pounds.
10 pounds. So Spence probably higher. It's like over 160.
Yeah, fight night. Yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't think the fight necessarily. I didn't think Mikey took enough risk. I saw it as Mikey was just happy to reach the 12.
Well, I think after the first couple rounds, I think he just wanted to last because I don't think he could take any risks. I think he felt the power and he didn't want to get knocked out.
Yeah, I think he was
so I
scared.
think
Yeah,
after
but
the
then-
first couple rounds, he felt the power and he
Well,
just
then
did it.
Yeah, but that could be shown as
But
you being
but
too conservative too, though.
what does
You know
everybody
what?
say?
You know?
Like, everybody can have a game plan until you get punched in the face.
Well, then
he
you know
got
what,
caught a
Mikey?
couple times and his plan changed.
You know what, Mikey? You just wasted our time.
You know, Mikey.
If you're not
Still
gonna,
love you, Mikey. Still love you, though,
If you're
man.
not gonna go for it, then why? Then why even take the fight? What'd you see in Errol Spence, Mikey?
That's the part
I
I
wanted
want
to
to know.
ask him.
That's the part I want to know.
Yeah, but listen,
Because
I
he said
think-
he saw something that he saw a weakness that he thought he
Where?
could.
Where was it?
Yeah, but
Where was it?
I think
Where
some
was
blame
it?
has to be
And
done
the
to
plan
his
got
brother
changed
too,
when he
though.
got
His
hit.
brother should have stepped in and said something. Hey, listen, this might not be the best fight for us right now.
He did say
Oh, he
it.
did. He did.
Yeah, but you
He
got to
said he didn't
convince him.
want. He
You
said
got
he
to
didn't. He
convince
said
him.
he
though.
didn't want to take it.
Let's see. My brother wants me not to take the fight. Al Heyman's gonna
I'm
give
gonna
me
give you
$8
a bunch
million.
of-
$8 million it is.
Yeah, that's what it
And
was.
you know it sucks. It
does
sucks
suck.
for a
It does
boxing
suck.
fan. That
Yeah.
sucks. Good for Mikey getting his money, but if you're gonna get that money,
Yeah, but like
put
you
it on
said,
the line,
shit, that
dog.
was-
Like
that
put
was-
it on the line. You gonna sit there and just eat jabs all night?
Yeah.
But
That's
listen.
all you're gonna do.
Now let's get. I'm gonna be a realist here. I think if Mikey puts it on the line, he might. There might
Oh, he
be a
gets
TKO,
drunk.
yeah.
He gets
Or
drunk.
they
So
might
I-
knock out.
And I think we
so.
will respect Mikey more if that had happened. If he would have went for
Okay,
it
good point.
instead of just being conservative,
Good point.
just taking a jab to the mouth, to
But
the
he sees-
body.
but he
But
sees
I
it.
think
Future past
I
boxing.
think- and
so
I
you
think
remember that.
Mikey's-
So
too.
then-
but-
so,
and
all
he's
right,
able to
that's-
lay on
that's
his pillow
garbage.
of
That's-
dollars
that's mentality then. So then go be Mayweather. Go have 8 million cars and have the whole world hating you because you fought a shit fight.
but
A
I-
lot,
he
a
fought
lot
a
of,
shit
a lot of
fight.
fighters
He
will
did,
take
he did,
that.
he did. But listen,
as
he's
much as
gonna
we
move
may
back
hate
down,
that
though.
as
He's
boxing
gonna move
fans, a
back.
lot of fighters will take that.
There's only a
But
couple.
he's gonna
There's
move
only a
down. He's
handful.
gonna
I
move
think
down.
they'll take that.
I think most of them would.
Who? Tell me.
Thurman won't.
He's not a boxer.
Thurman is the one guy that everybody was like, "Yo, he's ready to fight anybody. He's challenging
Yeah,
everybody."
until-
and then when he got money, he's like, "You know what? I'm good.
Until
I'm
he caught
good."
that body shot from Luis Collazo. He's not one time
And
anymore.
before that, even before-
No, he was going for it. When he fought Soto Karras, he went for it. He took punishment.
yeah, he did.
But tell me, Errol Spence don't want to go hard. Errol Spence want to
but
go hard.
when
Buck Crawford don't want to go. Buck Crawford's a mean guy. Buck Crawford go
when
hard.
they get their big time money, are they still gonna be the same? I don't know.
Crawford's
We don't
making
know.
$3 million fight.
Yeah, but he just got 8 million. Mikey just got 8 million. We're not talking about 3 million. We're talking about when you start
but
making
listen,
them.
listen,
When you start
Canelo,
making
let's be
Canelo.
real here, guys. Listen, Garcia's
Canelo
gonna go back
doesn't pick
down.
every once in a while.
Canelo went to war with Triple G, even though he didn't win the fight. He was there to fight.
Yeah, because how much was he getting for it?
So now you're
He's
saying.
fighting for money. He's a prize fighter.
Okay,
now.
so was Mikey, but Mikey didn't fight for money that time. Mikey fought to survive. Canelo fought to win.
He did. He did.
Canelo fought to
Let's be
win.
real
Yeah,
here.
but it's
Come on.
also a different story. If you're going against Errol Spence versus Mikey was not a mismatch like Canelo and Golovkin.
Okay, your point. What's the point?
That'll be like Canelo fighting against a heavyweight and making that money.
No, come on. The two weight classes. That's like him fighting Kovalev, which I think he could probably take on Kovalev and do good.
It probably would. But if he had gotten caught with a shot early, then it may be a different story. I think Mikey went there to try to win, but I think if he
I didn't see anything.
I think
that
when he
told
got
Mikey
caught a
went
couple
that
shots
far.
early, he
I
said,
see
"All right,
it.
you know what?"
Listen, the first
I see
the
it.
first like 4 rounds. Listen, Mikey put up a
Dude,
pretty good
lost.
fight, but
Lost.
after that though,
Lost
after
every
that, I
round.
agree. After that, he
If
he went to
you'd be
conservative
lucky-
mode. He didn't want to get knocked
lucky.
out.
You lucky
He
to
didn't
give
wanna
Mikey
get knocked
one round in that fight. Lucky.
I did it.
I'm sorry. Mikey, pound for pound.
I gave Mikey one round. So.
For a guy that's pound for
Not more
pound,
than
you know, for guys pound for pound, that everyone, you know what I'm saying? You know how close the odds are because people believe what he says.
I don't know why. I made some money off of
No,
that.
that was
People
I made
believe
some money.
him. Like,
You
you
made
made
money?
Speaking of,
Who did you win? Who did you beat? Who did you make money off of?
there's somebody who may be watching the show right now.
You made money?
Somebody that's watching the show right now that
How much money did you make?
How much
may
money did you make?
have been a $2,000 bet
$2,000? You won $2,000?
from a hater.
Holy shit!
From a hater.
From a hater? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hater. I know a
You have
hater.
proof of
It's
that?
proof. There's a video.
Oh shit.
There's a video.
Yeah, you better get an all-inclusive vacation.
I heard he owes a couple other people too, though.
There's a rumor out there. There's a rumor out there. But
Trip to Aruba.
I'm with it. To not drag on the point, I think Mikey should have fought better. I think if you're on pay-per-view,
I agree.
I think if you're on pay-per-view, then you just can't, like, especially when people are betting with you.
I didn't even like it was being on pay-per-view.
People are flying into Dallas to go see you. Probably 400,000 people bought the pay-per-view, and that's what you give us? No, I'm sorry, Mikey. Gotta do better. Gotta do better.
He'll be back. Mikey will be back.
I think he'll be back against Pacquiao, actually. I think that's what's going to happen next, actually. I think
Really?
someone tweeted, it might have been either Fight Hype or Keith Edick, that said, even though Pacquiao wants Mayweather, the plan is probably to fight Mikey Garcia. And then I think Keith said, everyone thought that Pacquiao was there to scout Spence. He probably was actually there to scout Mikey Garcia.
Good point.
And I think that's a good fight. So hope it happens.
I'd like to see that fight.
I wanted to see that fight before he fought Spence because Robert Garcia's brother, told me the plan was to get Pacquiao in the second fight, and then probably Lomachenko in the third. So we'll see what happens. My guy, someone asked us a question.
Crawford and Khan.
Who's winning? I mean,
Yeah.
I-
You should ask what round he's going to get KO.
gonna-
That's what you should
here's
ask.
the thing. But here's the thing. You know what's funny? As much as Khan's got the glassiest chin in the world,
He's a good
He's got
fighter.
speed.
He's a good boxer.
he's gonna go out on his shield. He's not gonna pull a Mikey, as Bob Arum said. Even though it was a shady throwing shade tweet at Mikey Garcia. Amir Khan always comes to fight, not like Mikey Garcia. He is right though. He is right. Amir Khan's gonna come to fight. He might have a success like Gamboa did, couple rounds, because the speed might throw Crawford off a little bit until he adjusts, gets the timing down. I mean, I know we're not doing predictions. I know the fight's about 3 weeks away, but I just think Crawford's 7th round knockout is probably what I'll go with.
Yeah.
And I am going to the fight. So, Chris.
10th round, I said it'd be later.
Yeah, I think later rounds. I got knocked out by Crawford also.
I
So.
don't think so. You know what's funny? Though is if Mikey Garcia or Amir Khan fought, I'd probably pick Mikey Garcia.
That would actually be a good fight.
That would be.
That'd be
good.
actually a really
I'd
good
like to see
fight.
that.
I would like to see that one.
No, I mean
That would be a really good fight.
it's so much. This sport sucks.
Oh my God! Jesus, what the hell? How are you gonna say that? What's wrong with
No.
you? Jesus.
Yeah, I hope no promoters are watching you
I
right
know.
now.
They know it sucks. I mean, Tyson Fury signed to the Top Rank, and Bob Arum was like, "Yeah, Wilder fight
2020.
2020."
Okay.
What?
Those guys will pay for it.
Yeah, all right. Wilder turns down $100 million.
Ugh.
And I get it. Here's the thing: it's like in boxing, everyone's so spiteful. We offer you, Joshua, $50 million. You say no. You offer us $100 million. We're saying no now.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
It's so stupid.
It is so
The
stupid.
sport is so
It's true.
stupid.
It's definitely.
At its best, it's the best sport in the world. But that only happens like once every 352. How many days are in a year? 365. 365. So it might happen 2 days out of 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
Where boxing is at its best, and there's nothing greater in sports than boxing.
I said that.
But for the rest of the 354 days, this sport fucking
they
sucks.
will try to give you, boxing will give you enough food to keep you alive, but it's not really going to make you happy. That's what they'll do.
More, please, more, sir.
That's what they're going to
Please,
do.
more, sir. Oh, we just gave you Canelo Triple G. Enjoy a shit fucking load of
For the
fights
next year.
next year. And then
And buy our subscription
buy our
for a year.
subscription. And then
For a year.
here's an Asian guy versus another Asian guy you never heard of, but it's a great fight. And you're like, all right, let me have some
That's
more of
some
that,
Chilean
sir.
football.
Let me have some more of that, sir. No, we're
That's
gonna
some
give
Chilean
you
football.
Gabe Rosado versus some
Oh, God.
Polish guy.
Oh, God. I'm trying to promote it like it was a fight.
Gabe
It's
Rosado's not retired yet.
No, I love Gabe.
He's
Come
still
on.
fighting.
I love him too.
He's still fighting. Yeah.
No, man.
It's a
Listen.
good fight.
I hope he takes care of
Had
himself.
like 4
I think he
knockouts
has.
last
I think
fight.
he has. But 354 days of the year, the sport sucks. I'm gonna say maybe 4 days out of the year, the sport is great. So, whatever. That's just my rant. that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope LeBron enjoys the sweet wine that we toasted in honor of him.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. We'll probably be back before the Final Four.
Yep.
If you have any questions, just shoot it our way. As always, I'm your host. My two co-hosts. We out.
Peace.
Adios, mi gente.
Thanks, Dre.
Thanks, Dre.